Everybody, my name is Michelle. I am a pediatric sleep consultant and mom, and today I am going to talk to you all about pacifiers. We're going to talk about why they're helpful. We're going to talk about what to do if they start disrupting your baby's sleep. We're going to talk about when to wean, when you start thinking about that, and then how to do it. So let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about why pacifiers are helpful. First of all, there is evidence that suggests that they decrease the risk of SIDS, and they are great at soothing your baby. There is a very strong sucking reflex for babies, and sucking on a pacifier or breastfeeding or knuckle, anything, but a pacifier is probably the easiest one, is very soothing for young babies. Okay. Now I want to talk about what to do if a pacifier is starting to disrupt your baby's sleep. So there's a couple things. First of all, if you have a really young baby and you're introducing the pacifier, one thing that you can do to help them learn to keep it in their mouth is to take the pacifier, give it to them and put it in their mouth, and then gently pull it out just a little bit, and their mouth and their muscles will suck it back in. You can do that, couple times, practice, and eventually their mouth will get strong enough to keep it back in. If you have a little bit older baby, say 7 months, 8 months, and they just keep waking up because the passy keeps falling back out of their mouth, there's a couple things that you can do. One is start teaching them how to find and reinsert the passy themselves so that you are not constantly getting up to do it for them. So when they do wake up, put the pacifier in their hand, guide their hand to their mouth. With repetition, that will really help. You can even practice it during the daytime when they're awake, just as a game, putting the pacifiers around them and teaching them how to guide it to their mouth. When they're in their crib, what you can do is place a handful, maybe 4, 5, 6 passies around them, couple by each hand when they're falling asleep, so that if they do wake up in the night, their hand can find one and put it back in their mouth. I've worked with a couple clients on this, and it has really made a big difference. One little girl I'm working with right now actually is 7 months old, and she was waking up constantly for her parents to put the pacifier back in her mouth, and she's starting to learn to put it back in by herself, and she actually the last couple nights has slept like 11 or 12 hours straight without waking up her parents, which is amazing. So yeah, those are a couple things that you can do if the pacifier is actually causing struggles and you don't want to be constantly putting the pacifier back in your baby's mouth. So your baby's been using the pacifier for a while, things have been going good, but now you're starting to think to yourself, okay, my baby's getting older, when and how do I get rid of this thing? Let's talk about the when. The best time to wean your baby from the pacifier, 1, is when you feel ready. 2, between the ages of about 18 months and 3 years. Or if your pediatrician or your child's dentist recommends you to start weaning from the pacifier. So if 1, 2, 3 of those things are there, then it's probably time. We personally, our daughter loved the pacifier, and we waited until our dentist suggested it based on her teeth. So that's the when. Now let's talk about the how. There's a few different ways that you can, or a few different methods that you can do to get rid of the pacifiers. If you want to do it gradually, what you could do is first start out only having the pacifiers in their sleep space. So their crib or their bed, you would only use the pacifiers for nights and naps. And once you do that, you would look into something for nighttime. So the method that I like to recommend is using the Passy Fairy. So similar to a tooth fairy, this is something that you would do with your child and they would be involved, which is kind of cool. And you would talk to them, let them know this is coming, give them some heads up. And when you feel like they're ready, you would say, okay, we're gonna put our passies in this box, and the Passy Fairy is gonna come and bring you a really cool toy. This made my daughter very excited. So she left her pacifiers outside her room. You could leave them on the bed, wherever. And a little while later, the pacifiers were gone and a toy showed up, and she was very, very happy. Now, that's not to say that you might not run into some hiccups later. For example, if you have a child more on the stubborn end or more strongly attached to their pacifier, they still might ask for it for a while, and you just need to keep those boundaries firm. You know, sorry honey, the Passy Fairy took your passies and left you that toy. We don't have them anymore. The Passy Fairy has them. And you can even say something like, the Passy Fairy is going to give them to other babies who need pacifiers. And honestly, that's another method too. If you don't want to do the Passy Fairy, you could say, hey honey, you're a big boy now, or you're a big girl now. Big girls don't use pacifiers anymore. Can we give your pacifiers to some babies? There's some babies out there that really want those pacifiers. You think we could give it to them? And they might get all excited. Maybe if you have a younger child or a niece or a nephew, you could say you're giving it to them. That's another great way to make them feel like they're doing something good. If you have any questions, please drop them below. I would love to chat. I know this is kind of an emotional change, both for babies and parents, and maybe a tricky one if your child kind of puts up a fight. So would love to answer any questions you have, provide any support. And I'm also going to put a link down below to a free guide that covers all of this and more. So if you are in the thick of this phase, please give that a read. If you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe. And if you would like other tips on baby and toddler sleep, please follow me on Instagram at sleepwellwithmichelle. Thank you so much.